There's an old man called Mississippi. That's the old man that I'd like to be. What does he care if the world's got troubles? What does he care if the land ain't free?
YouTube! Hi! So, today, YouTube, I wanted to rant about how this hurricane is raging in the southern Bahamas. As it is, it's a Category 3, and it's going to become a Category 4 as it proceeds up the eastern coast of the United States of America. And for those of you who don't know what the eastern coast of the United States of America is, either look out your window at it or look it up in an atlas, because quite frankly, I don't feel the need to explain what that is to you. Regardless of that fact of how stupid some of my viewers may be, the majority of you, I hope, are smart enough to know what a hurricane is, and at least what the United States is in general. So, anyway, you would not believe how many people I've encountered today who have told me it's just the Bahamas. It's not like they haven't had hurricanes before. They'll rebuild. They'll recover. Well, yes, they will. But what you don't understand is that a hurricane can still be devastating and cost many lives to a nation, regardless of whether or not it's a protector of the United States, or if it's an annexed territory of Switzerland, or if it's just a Caribbean island nation. It doesn't matter. A hurricane is a hurricane. And if you don't know what a hurricane is, again, I'm not explaining it to you. So, right now, it's in the southern coast, and the southern half of the Bahamas, as it is. And it's going to move up to the northern half, like a few days, a day, I don't know. I don't know how long, but by then it'll probably be a Category 4, I think. At least that's what I heard. And it's already 60-mile-per-hour winds in the north, and it's not even up there yet. So, first of all, my heart goes out to the people in the Bahamas who can't evacuate, because I know there's like a number of them who can't. But I just wanted to rant, though. This vlog is not to inform you of what's going on weather-wise with the world. Okay? I'm not a meteorologist. I want to make that very clear. I am not a meteorologist. I am not here to inform you about the weather. I'm here to make you feel terrible about yourselves. I'm kidding. I'm not really here to make you feel terrible about yourselves. I'm not mean either. I just tell it how it is. Ding. Kidding. But not about me telling it how it is, because that's really how I am. You already know this. I'm getting off topic here. What it's going to do is... Yeah, there. It's inverted. Here's the Bahamas. And here's Florida. And... Well, here's Florida at least, I think. Yeah, there's Florida. And here's the Bahamas. Here's the hurricane. It was traveling up the Bahamas into the northern half, and it's going to basically go up the eastern coast of the United States until it probably hits, I don't know, Maine, New Jersey, Connecticut, something around that area. And I don't want New Jersey to get hit. It's my favorite state of all the states, in my opinion. And you know, there's a common misconception that crazy people come from New Jersey. No comment on that. But the thing is, by the time it gets halfway up the coast of the United States, it's going to be a Category 4, maybe even higher, because they've been raising it gradually until they're probably going to say it's a Category 5, and then they're going to be like, it's stronger than Category 5, but because that's happened in the past. There have been hurricanes that have been stronger than Category 5s, but they just don't have a level higher than Category 5 for hurricanes because, you know, that would just be too difficult for them. So, really, it's a god-awful mess. People saying that they'll recover, That's true, but it's just terrible. And then there's another person I encountered that said that, oh, well, we haven't had a few hurricanes we haven't had a hurricane in a few years now, so I guess we were kind of in for it. Yeah, just because you go for a few weeks without seeing a squirrel in your backyard doesn't mean they're not there. Although that's a pretty crappy comparison, that's kind of how it is. Really. I'm serious, people. And with this hurricane in Washington, D.C., or not hurricane, with this earthquake in Washington, D.C., the freaking Washington Monument was cracked. The last thing we need is that thing toppling over, crushing the Lincoln Memorial. I happen to like that Lincoln Memorial. I'm related to Abraham Lincoln. Kidding, no, I'm not related to Honest Abe. But if I was, you would know. If I were, you would know. Pardon my grammar. I is uneducated. Kidding, I'm not uneducated. But still, with the earthquake and the dang hurricane, and the hurricane's been around longer than the earthquake, but really, I mean, who could have possibly thought that on top of the freaking war in Libya, which I am very happy that the rebels have seized control of Tripoli, personally, because that douche needed to go. Gaddafi, I mean. That douche needed to go. What else? Oh yeah, the hurricane, the earthquake, the war in Libya, the crisis with the stocks, the economy, yet again, taking a freaking turn for the worst, straight into the toilet, with all the... It's just, really? I'm expecting a freaking red ring to be around the moon now. God. But still, okay, I understand that, the world might not be necessarily the best place to live right now. Although I don't see it that way, because I prefer to see the glass half full. And yes, the stocks are terrible. And, well, some of them. And yes, there's a hurricane in the Bahamas that could affect the United States and possibly hit Washington, D.C. if it diverts its course farther west. But, really, well, when it gets up the coast, but really, it's weather, and it's stocks, and it's an earthquake. You can't control these things. Unless, of course, you create this machine that stops the tectonic plates from shifting, I don't think you can control a hurricane. Because, first of all, you can't stop the tectonic plates from shifting. That's one thing. Second of all, a hurricane's gonna form if a hurricane's gonna form, okay? I understand that it's terrible that it's going to be striking the Bahamas, because, really, they're an island, they're a series of islands in a nation that, really, it's terrible that's going to happen, but it's going to happen, okay? I'm sorry to break that to you, but it is going to happen, and I am sorry it is, but that doesn't mean you have to be a jerk about it, okay? Doesn't mean that you have to go around saying, well, too bad for them, we've had numerous hurricanes here in Florida, or we've had numerous hurricanes here in Louisiana, although that might be in bad taste for me to say, because there was Katrina, and they're still rebuilding from that. At least I'm fairly certain they're still rebuilding from that. I haven't really thoroughly researched it, whether or not they're still rebuilding. I'm fairly certain they are. But that took some major reconstruction, and that was a natural disaster I consider it a natural disaster, at least. And still, we're the United States. We're expected to rebuild things. Really? Heck, with all the crap that has gone on in the past, the world kind of just says, oh, well, the United States, they'll just rebuild. I mean, they've rebuilt everything. I mean, they rebuilt their nation after the Civil War. They rebuilt They rebuilt Why did I say Palm Harbor? I was going to say Palm Harbor. They rebuilt Pearl Harbor. They rebuilt their economy with the Great Depression, because I haven't been listing these in actual order of when the events took place, because, again, I'm not educated. Kidding, I am. But still, we're the United States. We can rebuild. But for countries that don't have as strong economies as we do, just don't be a douche about it, okay? Don't be flaunting your arrogance about how you live in the United States, okay? You have it pretty good. unless you live in the ghetto or in the projects where stereotypically you're not expected to have a very good life, although I do know a few people who do live in the projects and do live in the ghetto, what's considered the ghetto, and do not necessarily have a terrible life, but still, you live in the United States. You can buy things if you want to buy something. You're not living in a third world country that threatens you with death when you reach towards a freaking grain of rice in the gutter. Not that most of the United States population eats rice, although it's a pretty good way to curb your diet, because rice is pretty... Again, I'm getting off track. The thing is that for the Bahamas, it's going to be more difficult for them to rebuild because they're an island nation. A chain of island nation. Well, an island chain nation is what I meant to say. I really don't I don't have a script, you see. But for all we know, islands from the Bahamas could be swept into the ocean. Or they could fly to New Mexico. But that's not going to happen because that's just not realistic. The fact remains that the Bahamas are going to be hit by a hurricane, and I don't think that people should be very inconsiderate about that. Miss Manners does say that you shouldn't be rude towards those that are afflicted with natural disaster and illness. But I don't read Miss Manners, and I don't know Miss Manners personally, so I wouldn't know. And I'm fairly certain that Miss Manners only applies to girls. Although there's probably something out there that applies to gentlemen, like the Gentleman's Guide to Being Clean or something, because, excuse me. I'm drinking Arnold Palmer. I was not paid to say that, okay? I just find Arnold Palmer very freaking refreshing and delicious. Just like I'm not told to advertise this pen. It's a rubber pen! No, wait, that's the rubber pen. What? There. Again, the fact of the matter is, people, that I am just dragging this out. That was not the actual... You see, when I have these dang things longer than... But regardless, don't be a freaking arsehat about these things when you know that there are going to be people suffering because of it. You didn't make fun of people during the tsunami, or you didn't make fun of people because of the freaking heat wave and the fires in the middle of the central United States. And you didn't make fun of people because of the earthquake. Don't make fun of people because of this hurricane, okay? Because, as far as I'm concerned, they're humans too. So, from ML Jangles, toodaloo, good night, au revoir, auf Wiedersehen, adios, go away. And to my adoring viewers, have a quacky day.